So we're going to move over to one of the main systems in the home, and this is our heating system. It's also our air conditioning system. Basically, the furnace is pretty much the lungs of your entire home. There's a few things that we do need to look at as far as home ownership and maintenance that goes with the furnace. A couple other systems that we do want to look at. Homeowners usually not going to worry about this, but sometimes you may want to have to shut the furnace off itself. It is currently running right now. We can take the doors off and go through here, and we can actually take a look, and we're just circulating some air throughout the house. But right here is one of the main controls for your furnace. There's also a breaker at the panel where this furnace can be shut down as well. But basically, all you gotta do, turn off your furnace. If it's running when you want to change the furnace filter, you're gonna wanna make sure that the furnace is off as well. It makes it difficult when this thing's running. All you gotta do is set it back up. Furnace is going to reset and it will fire up on its own within a few minutes. Not a lot to look at in here. Again, this is just something that we would look at ourselves just to make sure that it's fairly clean, which it is. No debris. Okay, so got our furnace running again. Now, one of the main things that a lot of homeowners, a lot of people don't realize or they neglect is our furnace filter. We have a clean filter here at this point in time. I'm going to show you how to change the filter and what we should be expecting. Again, I just want to turn this off for now because I am pulling air through our furnace system. This particular duct here is our return duct, and this is pulling air throughout the entire house. You're going to see little grills in almost every single room, the one on the top and the one on the bottom. That pulls the air from the entire house, and that's all the stale air that we need to have reconditioned or reheated depending on the seasons. So it's actually going to pull air down into this duct. It's going to come down here, it's going to run through. There's a fan inside here that actually pulls this air through and then pushes it up through our heating system here. There's a big box in there that air surrounds, and as that goes around that box, it heats up the air again, goes up through here, and then again gets distributed throughout the entire house to keep our house nice and comfortable. You can kind of think of the heating system as a circular motion where it's continuously going back and forth, where the air gets drawn in, goes back to the furnace, gets heated up, and then gets distributed throughout the house, gets pulled back in through the furnace, heated up and distributed. So it's in a constant circular motion throughout the entire home. Now our air filter here itself, it's going to be in behind this little cover. We just have to pull off that small little plate, and that plate's just there to stop the dust and any debris coming through and getting through this area here rather than being pulled out throughout the entire house. Now if you look, when I turn this furnace back on, we'll give it a second, and you can actually see how that filter gets sucked in and drawn tight against this little area here. Like I said, you want the furnace off because otherwise it makes it very difficult to pull this filter out. And as you can see, this is our filter. You can see it's starting to get a little bit dirty here. We've had some new construction in there. We got some debris dust, even some drywall dust that's still on here. The furnace is getting clogged, and therefore it impedes the airflow running through that furnace, and therefore the furnace is not going to work near as efficiently as it can if we got nice clean open areas for that. So I'm just going to take that one out, and I'm going to put our new filter back in. Now you notice that I drew an arrow here pointing towards the furnace. Okay, that is the direction of our airflow. It comes down, comes through, pulls through our furnace, gets heated up or conditioned. As that air gets conditioned, it gets distributed again throughout our house. So again, we have that whole air movement. We put that arrow there. You're going to notice on the air filter itself, it also has a little directional arrow. So we want that arrow always facing towards the furnace or facing towards the direction of the airflow. So as I put this filter in here, we want to make sure that that arrow is facing towards the furnace. If I put it in the other way, you're going to notice on this side that this side is reinforced with a little bit of a mesh. Okay, this stops this particular filter material from being pulled through or being ripped out of this casing. If that gets ripped out, we got a fan right in there, and this will get all entangled inside that fan. And what's going to happen is you're going to have a very high maintenance bill when the heating contractor comes here and tries to pull all this out of your fan. So we always want to make sure that the arrow is going through the filter in the right direction. Very simple. These things are made to fit. Every filter has a size written on it as well. This particular one is 16 inches by 25 inches by 1 inch thick. So You want to make sure you know the filter size for your particular furnace, and you make sure that you buy the proper size for the furnace. Obviously, if it's too big, it's not going to fit in. If it's too small, we can actually end up having the same problem where it might get pulled in. Plus, we're not going to be filtering all the air, so make sure that you got that correct size. Again, just pops in, put them in there, and done. That's simple.